Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Tower of Doom, week 22, day 2. Actually, why does this thumbnail say 23 and the other one 2? Did I do the numbers wrong? It's probably week 23. You know what? Let's just make it 23. Week 23! I have no clue for sure. I need to go double check that later. It's either week 22 or 23. Doesn't really matter too much. But anyways, we got a lot of 5.0 spoilers. That we're going to just go recap real quick. Obviously, we did a very long stream of it last night. And just kind of want to recap it now. So I'm going to be doing it relatively brief. However, if you want a little bit of a longer form, someone abbreviated like a really large block of text of all of the things that was mentioned in the stream. So here's the thing. I'll be recapping it a little bit quicker than this. But if you want to read through some of it, here it is, and I'll be showing one other thing on screen because the rewards. But here you guys go. Here's some place that you can go read if you want to go and physically look at something. Open that in a new tab. Has a bunch of stuff. Also has a bunch of timestamps from their stream if you want to check the exact places where they mentioned it. Well, it's a good read if you want to get a bunch of information. However, we're going to be recapping it real quick and then showing an image that shows all the rewards, which we'll be going over as soon as we just kind of finish mentioning everything. So, recap. So the main thing that's going to be happening in version 5.0 is going to be a new system known as campaigns. Campaigns will last for 10 weeks. Basically, they go 10 weeks, and then they have 1 week off, which is a Tower of Doom. The way that events now work is we will have a 10-week campaign, and then we'll have Tower of Doom. In between that time, we will have a World Lore event every single week, and we'll have a Guild War on once every 4 weeks. And that's basically how the events will be going. You may notice that there's no raids. That's because it got moved 2 weekends. So now it'll be traded basically like Invasions already is into the next patch. The Mythic is indeed pay locked, at least initially. They are doing a really weird thing with the passes. So basically, one thing that we're getting, the campaigns are essentially 16 tasks that you get to do every single week. The first two are, or 2 of them are legendary ones that give 15 points. 4 of them are silver ones that give, or mid-rarity ones that give 10 points. And then you get 10 of them that are 3 points each. You can pay gems to automatically get it done. However, it is generally advised doing them for free. You could do these at any point. So if you are in week 3 of the campaign, you will be able to go, which is chapter 3, because it goes, there's 10 chapters and goes week by week. But you could do them at any point. So even if you're 3 weeks in and you didn't end up finishing all the other ones, you can end up doing them at any point. Some of them are a bit time locked. For example, one of them is you have to do dungeons 2 days in a row. So obviously that can't be done in one single day. However, for the most part, most of them can be just grinded out infinitely without any kind of time restraint. They're also the same for every single person. So we will hopefully be going over these every single Wednesday or so. Because I won't be able to go over them on Monday, unless I spend a lot of gems every single Monday, it'll be very unlikely to have them all done on Monday night. So we'll probably just cover them on Wednesday when we start covering them, as it will take some amount of time. Plus, some of them are time locked anyways, unless you spend gems. So at minimum, it would have to be a little bit later. So we'll probably start covering them on Wednesdays, as it's early enough to still be relevant to kind of mention what on earth they're going to be. Other than that, yes, some things are kind of slightly paywalled into next patch. There are 2 passes. One is $10, the other one is $25. Both of these passes last for 10 weeks for the entirety of the campaign, meaning that if you constantly want to keep getting these, you will have to buy a pass every single 11 weeks because there's 1 week of downtime with Tower of Doom between these campaigns. And there are a lot of things that are technically temporarily locked behind it. There's a title, which isn't too big a deal. There's one of those little profile image things, which isn't too big a deal. However, there are multiple things that are a big deal. One is this time around a mythic for full completion of it. If you get the entirety of it done, you will end up getting a mythic out of it. There is I believe, an epic troop that ends up coming in. There's going to be a new legend coming in through the vault that will be available through the thing for free. There'll be a weapon, and there'll be a pet. So unless I missed something, that is 7 unique things that are coming in that you would have to get by other means at a later point. All of these would be coming in about a month after the fact, whereas the titles and things probably about 3 months after, like most of the other titles do. But most of it should be coming in about a month after, and you'd have to get it from Soulforge, you'd have to get it from chest drops, you'd have to get it from everywhere else if you're doing it for free. So it's a little bit unfortunate because the way that they have it set up does kind of make it for full completion, that you would have to start spending at least $10 every 11 weeks, which means it might start being like a $1 per week sync now into the game if you want to do 100% completion. That is technically a thing. It can be done without it. However, realistically, most people who want 100% completion will need to do it. Also, the value of it's a pretty good conversion just because just the Mythic alone is technically worth 4,000 diamonds. And that alone for $10, even just comparing it to the Sunday pack, is really good value. Like, they made it way, way too good value to the point where it's almost mandatory. In a sense, not exactly mandatory, but it's the way that it's set up is very unfortunate. Other than that, other things to mention with it are you do get upgrades throughout the week. So one nice thing that you do get for free, though, that you would get regardless, is the upgrades to troop stats. These apply to everywhere, which does include Guild War and stuff like that. However, since it applies everywhere, other than Arena, of course, but since they apply everywhere, they do apply to factions. So you will be able to have more stats going into next patch, going into factions. So if you haven't already done all of the pure factions yet, you will be able to have a little bit easier of a time. Obviously, it's not going to be an auto win. It's not like you can run every single faction now without potions. However, it will make it a bit easier to run them if you have been struggling to get some pure factions done, or even just getting through them in general. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'll go show an image with all the rewards. That's pretty much everything to mention. Oh, that, and we're getting a Doom rarity troops now. Like, all bosses will now be considered dooms, so it's easier to identify them whenever they're within the game. And I think that's pretty much everything. That and Artifact is being changed to the name of gosh, I keep forgetting what it's changed to. Artifact is getting its name changed. I keep forgetting what it gets changed to, though. It's a word you don't normally use. But the Artifact's name for the weapons are being changed because Artifact is now being used for the campaigns that occur every single week, pretty much, for those 10-week duration. But anyways, hello, Cinnamon. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Vespenny. And if anyone has any questions or anything you want me to recap or anything to go over, let me know. I'll be going over all the rewards in a second. Hello, Marcelo. Hello, Defiance. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Sippleman. And then we'll be doing Tower of Doom and other things, as well as Faction, of course. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Sippleman. Hello, Lestat. Hello, ssaszix. Hello, Scotty. Hello, Bill. Hello, Michael. Hello, Envit. Hello, T3. Hello, Zero. Hello, Glenn. Hello. How much will you miss out if you go free to play? Theoretically, everything is obtainable. Nothing is permanently money locked in next patch. You will be able to obtain them at some point. However, if you want to obtain this stuff immediately, it is now money locked behind $10. It's basically $1 a week is what it comes out to. But it is money locked now. Let's see. Hello, Mobarashi. Let's see. Hello. Wait, what was it mentioned? 5.0 is just a hotspot where the devs throw everything into it. No new game mechanic compared to Hero Towns, Delve, Guild War. It's underwhelming. Yeah, that's why one of the reasons why I said it's kind of meh. Theoretically, we're not getting any kind of new mode or any kind of like really, really big thing. Like, obviously campaigns is the big thing. But however, now that they're not doing suffixes or affixes, which was going to be the most unique aspect about this, it's not really going to have anything rather unique in it other than paywall, or a bit of paywall. It's technically obtainable at a later point, but realistically, most people will buy it, which is unfortunate because it's kind of set up in a way that you kind of need to. But it is technically possible to get them by normal gameplay, just a lot harder, and at a delayed time. But yeah, it doesn't really bring in anything new. You get like a new task system, but it's almost like Adventure Board in a sense, like that. And other than that, well, not exactly like Adventure Board, but you know, it basically just gives you some tasks and you have to do them every single week. Though you can wait till a later time to do them as long as you get them done. But anyways, yeah, it doesn't really bring anything too substantial as far as what was new. Originally, the artifact was going to bring in affixes, so whenever you and suffixes, so whenever you cast an ability, it would do additional effects, and whenever you just used any troop, it would have additional traits. However, this was removed for balance reasons because it would have been insanely unbalanced with how they had it set up. So it was completely removed for balance. But yeah, that was the main kind of gimmick with artifact, and it was completely removed, which honestly, for the health of the game, was probably better. But I don't know, it still would have been cool if those effects would have at least applied to delves or something. It would have made delves a lot easier. But yeah, they just completely removed it. They also revamped the rewards quite a bit compared to how they were at the beginning of the beta. Which we'll be going over in a moment. Hello, David! Poll tax. Let's see, who else have we not said hello to? And if any other questions, let me know. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. I wanted to time how long it took for Salty to say we don't have enough time to talk about this before surging into talking about her personal life. How long did it take? Do you have a exact amount of time it took? I know it happened. I forget at what point it happened though. Yeah, technically the mythics are still obtainable. However, you're gonna have to obtain them through Soulforge. Realistically, they're never gonna be exclusive in the drop table, meaning that you can't easily key for them. Well, I guess you could off of event keys at some point, which I guess some people might do. However, you would need the event to eventually come back around. Also, I believe a month would still have to have gone by. I'm not sure if it'll immediately be in drop table when the kingdom comes around. But yeah, it's either going to cost a lot of event keys or 4,000 diamonds to get the mythic, not even counting all the other things you would still need to get. And one of them is a vault troop, so you'd have to vault key for it as well. Like, they're scattered all over the place. One of them's a weapon, so you have to wait till the kingdom rolls back around to get the weapon. One of them's, I believe, an epic troop, so you'll need to... That one you could probably get from normal keys the following time a mythic comes out. One of them's going to be a mythic, so you'd have to pretty much diamond for it, unless you can get it from event key. Another one's going to be those 2 title thingies, which will cost you 45 gems if you want to get them at a later time, which isn't too big a deal with that one. And the other one was... I'm missing one thing. Oh, the pet. And the pet you'd have to find randomly. The pet is probably... I don't think it would be cosmetic. I'm not sure. Maybe it's actually a cosmetic pet that you can only get for money. Oh, that might be a thing too. This pet might be 100% money locked. What if it's a cosmetic pet? If it's a cosmetic pet, it's not going to be in normal drop table rotation. Am I going to be doing the $10 or free? Since I have a YouTube channel that goes over this, I'm probably going to have to do the $10. I'm still trying to contact Salty to see if I can get the full Epic Pass for free, so I can cover content a bit earlier. However, that is very unlikely, but if it happens, it happens. But if that doesn't end up happening, yes, I will be doing the $10 pack. Not because, honestly, I would do it if I didn't have a YouTube channel. I'd probably just do the free one. However, because I have enough resources, I could easily go obtain all these things through their means of obtaining them after the fact. However, since we kind of need to cover them, I am probably going to be doing the $10 one. I won't be doing the Epic one. The 25 is just too much for it, for what it is. But I will be doing the $10 one at minimum, just so we can actually show the content when it gets released. We won't be able to show it slightly early since we won't be doing the more expensive pass. But realistically, most people probably won't be doing that more expensive pass anyway. So we'll just do it when it comes through the $10 one if we have to do it that way. And if I can get the Epic Pass for free from them, then we'll be able to cover them about a week early, which will be pretty cool. I can almost cover stuff a week early, kind of like how the devs do with their streams. Since, for example, that Mythic I would have 2 whole weeks early, or actually, would it only be 1 week? I forget exactly how the 20 points would fall, but you'd be able to show that like 1 or 2 weeks early. We'd be able to show the weapon a week early, and a couple other things we'd be able to show early. Also, with that being said, let me go show all the rewards. So here's the rewards and the paywall being introduced next patch. I was kind of mentioning some things with it, but didn't actually show it. It's let me actually get the link for it too. I'll be opening it up on this thing, but let me go and give you guys the link so you guys can also look at it if you want to do it on your own screen or reference it later. But right here is the post that has every single drop that was shown during the stream. So this is subject to change. However, it is very likely to be the final thing at this point because it has already been changed a couple times during the beta. But anyways, gemsofwar.com. Let me go over to that exact link I just posted and open it up in this so we can show it on screen. Let's see. Gems of War forum. I believe it was the second post on the discussion thread. There we go. Also, did I ever post the other one? I forget if I posted the other one, but that first link right there is the community one. But if you want to read through a bunch of other additional changes that kind of recap, if you want a longer form of it, here's another link that you can go to. This one doesn't show all the rewards. This one simply shows pretty much everything that's happening with next patch that they mentioned during their stream. But anyways, let's go enlarge these so we can go and see them. So here's the first set of rewards. The top amounts that you can see, or you know, the top one, basically the one right underneath each one of the stars is the one you get for free. Whereas the one on the bottom in each category with the little lock over top of it are the ones, actually never mind, they all have a lock, but the one on the bottom that doesn't have the star right above it is the one that you get through the pass. So as you can see, the first unique thing you get is at 50 stars, you would get a title, which only if you pay money, and that's at minimum 10. At every single 100 benchmark, you end up getting an upgrade to the artifact, which gives you additional stats, which works everywhere except Arena. That does include Guild Wars, and it does include Delves. So those are like the two main locations where those stats would be obviously beneficial. As you can see, we get a bunch of knick-knack resources. Even the bottom ones are kind of knick-knack resources, other than the unique paywall drops that they have. So here we have Devil's Bane, which looks like a weapon. If it'll be viable or not, who knows, but is a weapon nonetheless. Not sure why they have 10 coin purses. Those are useless, same as 5 gold rings. Then we got, I believe, what is an epic troop, if I'm not mistaken, based on how many copies are end up giving out. So this is probably some kind of epic troop that you'd be able to get after the fact. However, for free, I don't believe you'd have any way of obtaining it until later. Then they add some kind of portrait thing, which again, those are pretty cheap, just 45 that you'd be able to get at a later point. Like stuff like that isn't too big a deal if they paywall that. Like they do that all the time. It's not that big a deal with that. However, things that can actually be used is a big deal. It's like here we have, actually, is this the pet or is that a troop? I'm actually not sure. It's one or the other. Oh, never mind. This might be the pet. Never mind. This is the pet. This one is the troop. The Shade of Kundera, I believe, is the epic troop, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind. That's the pet. The one that's right over there. My bad. But anyways, those are the rewards up to 300. And as you can see, the artifact every single 100, as I mentioned, which gives additional stats. Let's move on to the next one then. Actually, can you just move back and forth? Yeah, you can use the arrow keys to move between them. I forgot. Okay, so next one. Here you can see they end up having a legendary weapon. The other one, I believe, was epic rarity. Let me actually double check. Was it epic rarity? No, they were both legendary rarity. So this was a legendary rarity weapon. And then we have another legendary rarity weapon, the Hammer of Force. Then more copies of the pet. Then these are all paid walled ones. Then the more copies of the, well, I believe it's the epic. It makes sense because if it should give you 16 copies, which would be enough to get it maxed then if it's an epic. Then you have the more copies as a pet, which will obviously give enough to eventually get it maxed. Then it has a rune set. I'm not sure what a rune set actually is. I'm not 100% certain what that is. But we'll find out. I honestly do not know. Then we get another portrait, so 2 portraits and probably 2 titles then. And then more copies of the epic, more copies of the pet, more copies of epic, more copies of pet. Heart of Rage, which is a Vault troop, legendary. How viable it's going to be, we don't currently know. However, we will find out soon as far as its viability on if that thing's actually good or not. Then we have more pets. Then we have the Mythic, which is probably by far the most controversial thing. Like, if everything else was here except the Mythic, I don't think it would have been too big a deal. Like, it still would have been slightly paid wall some stuff. But the fact that there's a Mythic right here that you... for basically, you'd be able to get it at least like months earlier. Yeah, this one's the pet. This is the pet. This right here is the pet. The other one was the epic troop, or I believe it's the epic troop. But anyways, yeah, you end up getting a mythic from it. So, which is paid walled, of course, behind at minimum $10. Plus, you have to do the entirety of the thing. So that's going to be quite unfortunate. It's going to take like months upon months for it to eventually come back after in Soulforge, and even then you'd have to go for 4,000 diamonds in order to you'd still need to get 4,000 diamonds to go craft it at a later time. So yeah, they end up paywalling quite a bit of things because every single one of these things likely aren't being available until at least like a month after the event has ended, if not longer. Maybe they'll be available immediately after the event thingy has ended. However, you're still going to have to wait some amount of time before you're going to be able to get all of these things. Also, you may notice that the rewards keep going. This is because of the Epic Pass one. If you end up getting the Epic Plus one, you end up getting additional rewards. You also end up getting more stars. You get 20 additional stars per week, which allows you to get some of these rewards at an earlier time. For example, you can have the Mythic before everyone else, a whole week, possibly 2 weeks. I forget how it lines up, but it's at least 1 week prior to every single other person in the game if you get the Epic Plus. So even everyone who just gets the normal pass will not get the Mythic as early as everyone who gets the Epic Plus pass, basically meaning that they will get an entire Mythic a week early. And if Guild Wars is that prior week and that thing is actually meta, that is super pay to win because you'd have to spend an extra $15 or $25 total to have gotten the other pass, which would allow you to have the Mythic 1 whole week early. Will they still be adding a new Mythic every month? Yes, we will still be getting a new Mythic every month. They also mentioned that the final reward might not always be a Mythic here. It could be a very, very strong weapon, like maybe some kind of Mythic weapon or some kind of other thing. However, it is not a guarantee thing that it will always be a Mythic. They did mention. It might be some kind of other very important reward. Obviously, it's still going to be, whatever it is, it's still going to be pretty much equivalent to a Mythic. But it did mention that it might not always be a Mythic troop. However, this first time around, it is indeed a Mythic troop. But yeah, anyone who buys that other pass, all from week 5 forward, you'd be able to get every single reward a whole week earlier, which means you'd be able to have, actually, where would that matter? So whatever the rune set is, you'd be able to have that a whole week earlier. I don't think it's relevant for much else. You'd be able to have the epic troop maxed a whole week earlier. If this pet isn't cosmetic, you'd be able to have the pet maxed a whole week earlier. You'd be able to have Heart of Rage a whole week earlier. Not like it matters, but you'll have that portrait a whole week earlier. You'll have Kandera, the mythic, a whole week earlier. So the only ones that really matter there is the pet if it has a bonus, which I'm not sure if it actually has a bonus. The epic would be maxed a whole week earlier. And you'd have Heart of Rage, which is a legendary from Vault Key. Or at least normally it'd be a legendary from Vault Key after the fact. A whole week earlier. And then, of course, the most controversial one is the mythic a whole week earlier. But yeah, that's basically the breakdown of all the rewards. They are subject to change, and they might change from event to event as well. Like, they might not be the exact same rewards every single event. But yeah, if we go over the free rewards, there isn't really anything too over the top other than the stats, which you definitely want to go for. Like, we got a bit of glory, we got some epic ingots, we got a bunch of pet food, and a lot of these things for late game players you don't need. The glory you kind of need, trait stones no, the epic ingots if you've already maxed out you don't, trait stones you definitely wouldn't later in the game. That small amount of souls you wouldn't need, pet food you eventually cap out on, obviously the stats, a little bit of keys here, however, not too many useful ones, like a pretty small amount. And then a bunch of other rather useless stuff. A bit more keys again, but again, not really too many too enticing ones. And yeah, we don't even get like some kind of huge reward towards the end. Like, I look at how small some of these like end rewards are for like 910 to 990. Like half a minute's worth of gold, some small amounts of minor trait stones that everyone in endgame doesn't need, and these chaos shards, which a lot of people probably don't need. You get to a certain point where you don't really need as many chaos shards anymore, especially if you literally have every delve maxed. Of course, that's a pretty small percent of the game, but there are people that have it done. But yeah, it's mostly just done for the extra stats if you're doing it for the free pass. Like, you're pretty much just doing it for the stats, and that is it. Which you still would need to do because of Guild Wars. Like, even if you're just doing the free things, you would still want to do them all because you need the stats for Guild Wars. And ideally, you'd also have the stats for delves. And people who have that one pass will be able to have higher stats starting week 5 all the way to week 10. Or sorry, week 5 to week 9. You would have higher stats if you had the Elite Pass Plus, which means if a Guild War falls between that line, you would have slightly more stats with the Elite Pass Plus compared to if you were running with just the normal pass or no pass at all. Because both no pass at all and normal pass have the exact same amount of stats because it doesn't speed it up any. Only the Elite Pass Plus ends up getting it higher. Anyways, I was mentioning in chat. I think I missed something. Wait, did Brawlhalla do the same thing? Oh, gosh. Wasn't that a free-to-play game? I'm pretty sure it's free-to-play, isn't it? Yeah, Brawlhalla is free-to-play. Oh, gosh. That's bad. I played Brawlhalla some. I didn't really get too into it, though. Especially when Smash Ultimate came out. I was like, yeah, obviously, so let's do Smash Ultimate. But, that's quite unfortunate. Yeah, games need to stop adding battle passes. Honestly, I feel like it can be implemented well. I have to say, there's one game that I actually did not mind the battle pass for, and that was Clash Royale. That is, I think, the only game I have ever played where the battle pass actually didn't seem like it was a complete waste. They did it in a way that was still kind of predatory and where it kind of makes it seem like you have to get it in order to really do anything in the game just because of how insanely good value it was. But it was balanced in a way that, I don't know, I actually didn't really mind it. But the way that Gems of Wars one is and the way that most games do it is rather unfortunate, to say the least. Because not only does it make you play a lot more than you might necessarily want to play, doing things that you might not even necessarily want to do in the case of Gems of Wars system for it. But yeah, it also has the paywall for things, for various rewards. But yeah, games need to stop implementing it. Let's see. Will they be... I already answered that one. Yes, they will still be releasing a new mythic every single beginning of every month. Do you know if the extra... Because that's how they currently sync gems. They're never going to get rid of that most likely because what will they sync gems into next? I mean keys. It's the key sync in the game. They're always going to have a key sync. When the game first came out, it was Kingdoms. Then it moved over to Mythics. And who knows, maybe we'll have something else to sync keys into the future. However, as it currently stands, mythics, the new mythic that comes out every single month is the main key sync within the game. That whenever they add a new legend through event keys, that's how you sync event keys, as well as just needing to get drops from it. But those two things are kind of like the main sync for keys, and they need to add some kind of sync. So they're going to be keeping mythics for a while. They even mentioned that they are. But if we're going to get a new key sync at some point, who knows? But as it currently stands, we're not getting a new key sync. And technically, no new sync is actually added next patch, other than a money sync. So I guess it is a sync. It's a money sync. But technically, there's no sync. You can theoretically spend gems to automatically get the passes done. However, it is so expensive that you would probably never do it. We tried to get them to lower it, but they didn't. If they were lowered a little bit, it would actually probably sink more gems because people would actually be enticed to go for it. However, they are so overly priced to skip them that everyone's just going to do them. So I'm not sure why they did it like that, because the way that they implemented it basically discourages people to actually gem sync into it, because I would not advise anyone to actually gem sync into it. But if they would have lowered it, it probably would have been worth it on some specific tasks, like ones that are like day locked or other things they might just want to get done immediately. But now it's going to, I believe the current final cost is 50, 100, 150, I believe is what it came out to. 50 to automatically get completed the basic task, 100 to do the middle task, and 150 to do the final one. They would have made it closer to 25, 50, 75. It still would have been expensive, but at least would have been more in line with actually being willing to do it. Otherwise, with how it's currently set up, it's just too much. Too many gems to waste for it. I don't think there's a single one with those prices that you would ever bother skipping. Especially since it goes from week to week, so you can still wait. Plus, every single person's getting the same ones. So if a bunch of people are delayed on it, everyone's going to be delayed on it. Because you have to keep in mind, every single person in the entire game gets the same 16 for every single chapter. It is not different. You might get them in a different order. That might be the case. However, you get the same 16 tasks. So the order might be different. I didn't end up asking that. But we did get confirmation that the tasks will be the exact same for every single person. So everyone in your guild and everyone in the entire game will have the same 16. It might not be same order, but it will be the same 16 tasks each week. Or, it's not the same each week. Every single person has the same. They're not the same exact task each week, but every single person has the same 16 for each. So you'll have one 16 for everyone for 1 week, then a different 16 for every single person the following week. But it's the same for every single person, but it's different per week. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much the only thing that matters in all those drops is the mythic, as far as the things that are locked behind the money. Most of the other things that were locked behind it aren't really that enticing. Like getting an epic troop early isn't that special. Getting a pet, especially if it's cosmetic, isn't really that important. Those titles and other things are just cosmetic. And no one would complain at all if that was like literally the only thing, since it's 100% cosmetic. I still feel like it would be slightly controversial if they were adding weapons and a few other things that were locked behind it. But I think the mythic's the main one that's doing it. Let's see. What did they confirm? What specific thing we were mentioned to? The order is the same? Oh, okay, the order is the same. Wait, did they confirm that? I know they confirmed that these it's the same 16. I didn't bother confirming the order, but yeah, that might be the case then. I didn't end up checking during beta. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it is the same order for everyone. Okay, so that makes it a bit fairer at least. But yeah, the $10 is basically to get it before everyone else. However, the means of which you get the mythic is really annoying because you basically have to get it in Soulforge only, which means you have to spend 4,000 diamonds, which obviously I have the diamonds to do that, but a lot of people do not have a 4,000 spare diamond to spend every 11 weeks if it ends up adding a mythic troop every single time. That's a lot to have to spend. Actually, I'm not even sure you can gain diamonds at a rate that quick without going out of your way, because if you want other mythics, unless you already have every mythic in the game or a surplus of diamonds, you wouldn't be able to constantly keep going for the new one that comes through it. You'd have to skip on quite a few. And while you might be able to key for it with like event keys or such, there will be no point where you can like lure Gym Guild or VIP chest for it. Which is kind of weird because that's another nerf to VIP keys. The VIP keys have been so lackluster for such a long duration. Anyways, let me go kill through Tower of Doom. Let's get into some actual battles. We're like, gosh, how far are we into the stream? And I haven't even done a single battle. We're almost half an hour in. But there's the recap on everything that was mentioned last night. Anyways. And if you guys still have any other questions, let me know. Yeah, it's not even possible to gain that many diamonds between each one. And that's assuming you already have them all. So unless you already have a surplus of diamonds, which some people do, but obviously most people don't, you wouldn't be able to. Also, someone said, hey, Tacet. Hello. I'll say hello back. That was a little while ago. I'll just say hello. Random hello. I'm not sure why. But anyways, where are we? What delve level are we on? We're on 19. So we need 4 and we need 3. Let's go take them. 4 and 3. And we're still using this team. You can replace Zugoff with a Skull Spammer. I'm just using Zugoff for it. If you weren't a content creator, would you go for the free or pay? I would go free. If it wasn't for the fact that I make content for the game, I would go free. But I kind of need to show it for videos. I'm not going to buy the more expensive one, though. I'll just buy the normal one. Because most people aren't going to buy the most expensive, even if they do go for it. They'll probably just buy the bare minimum. I feel like very few will go for the Elite Pass Plus. Unless you're competitive in Guild Wars, like Bracket 1, aiming for 1,500 gems every single time from it, I don't feel like you would go for it. I feel like the only people that will go for it are people that really want a competitive edge in Guild Wars. Because it will allow you to do a few things in Guild Wars. It'll allow you to have the Epic Troop maxed before everyone else in case it's viable in Guild Wars. You'll be able to have the Legendary Troop before everyone else in case it's viable in Guild Wars. And you'll be able to have the Mythic before everyone else in case it's viable in Guild Wars. So you'll be able to have 3 important things. And possibly the pet if it actually has a bonus. I think it's cosmetic though. But so you'll at minimum be able to have 3 things a whole week earlier before everyone else that could assist you in Guild Wars. And even if you don't count that, you'll have extra stats as well. So you'll have 4 things actually at minimum that will help you out in Guild Wars. So only really competitive Guild War guilds I feel like are going to go for it, the Elite Pass Plus, and everyone else is either just going to go free or Spider Normal Pass. I really feel like Elite Pass Plus is not worth it unless you're aiming for Tier 1 in Guild Wars. Like rank 1 in Guild Wars, so you get 1,500 gems, or rank 2 for 1,000 gems. If that's not your aim of your guild, I would honestly skip on Elite Pass Plus. However, the way that they set it up, it is, for completionist's sake, technically required to go for the $10 pass thingy. It's going to be really hard to do full completion, unless you're like literally done with completion in the game, to keep it up with the rate of new stuff coming into the game without going for the pass. I think it's actually quite literally impossible to keep up with the rate of new content coming into the game if you do not get the pass, which is quite unfortunate. The only exception to that is if you're in a state where I'm kind of already at, where you have literally everything and just have surpluses of every resource, you could keep up with the rate. However, if you're not already at this point, I don't think you can keep up with it without the pass, at least the basic one. Because 4,000 diamonds every 11 weeks is not possible. It's more than you can even obtain within that amount of time. Also, let me go back to Tower of Doom. Why did I click out of it? Anyways, let's go grab our orbs. Or 2 orbs, I should say. Come on, blue. Oh, we got a purple at least. Nice. And we'll get our major orb tomorrow, probably. Anyways, last 3 battles. Let's see. Actually, it should be 5. We should be able to find a Valraven in there. So we're at 19, so let's go take the 3 right over here. I mean, the finished battle there. Well, the 1 mythic every 4 weeks can still be keyed for. That will still be keyable. However, the mythic that's coming via the pass is not keyable. You'll be able to event key for it, but at no point will it be the exclusive mythic in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests, unless they're going to be doing something that will make it so. But as it currently stands, at no point will the mythic coming in via the pass be available as the exclusive Glory Gem Guild or VIP key mythic for a week. We're still going to be getting those every single month. However, at no point will the one specifically coming through the pass be available for a week through normal keys, meaning you have to get it by one of 2 means. Event keys, when it rolls around for the Kingdom event, or via Soulforge for 4,000 diamonds, which is the more realistic way of obtaining it. You could theoretically also get it from Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests from random drops. However, it is very unlikely that you'd specifically pull that exact 1 mythic. Let's see, we got everything except 3 here. So let's go and take them then. You would still need to do the campaign, most likely. There's still some benefits to doing the campaign, even if you're going free. The main benefit is the advantage you'll have for delves. For the final 2 weeks of the campaign, you will have a lot of extra stats, which you can use to try to get level 500 delves completed. Either progressing towards there, or just literally doing 500 pure factions. It won't be guarantee win, but those amount of stats that you get will still be the same even with the free pass. The other thing that it'll be used for is Guild Wars. So even if your guild isn't ultra competitive in Guild Wars, you probably still want the extra stats for Guild Wars, because you're going to need them for, you know, just having higher stats. Otherwise, everyone who's doing the passes will have higher than you. Also, one kind of funny thing, too, is you will technically get a lot of the pass stuff done passively, while some of them you do have to go out of your way for. Like, sometimes it will tell you to use a specific weapon or something like that. Quite a few of them can be done without ever going out of your way, though do keep in mind you do have to manually claim them, similar to how the level system was for when you originally had to do Soul Forge for the first 10 levels. You do have to manually claim it. It will not automatically go to the next one, so you do need to make sure that you do claim them if you do end up getting it done. I believe it will flash with an exclamation point, if I'm not mistaken, if you have one completed, so at least it will notify you. However, you do need to go and actually claim it, otherwise it will not go and move on to the next task. So if you're ignoring it, you still have to go and claim those to at least get some amount of points, if nothing else. I do advise doing it, though, even if you're just doing the free ones. It doesn't take too much time. If you do the most efficient method to get them all done, I believe the pass every single week can be done in 5 hours or less. And quite a few of them can be done passively without ever going out of your way at all, meaning it's technically even less time than that, if you count it passively being done as 0 time, even though you're technically still playing the game. But, you know, if you're playing on, like, let's say an hour each day, a lot of them will be done passively, like a good majority of them. There are some you have to go out of your way for, but with an hour a day, it will get a good majority of them done passively. So, hello, Jason! How do I want to be known? Normally just go by Tacet online. Oh, you mean everyone else? We don't really have a proper name for it yet. For all my viewers. We don't really have a nickname kind of thing. Let's see. What's the other battle we needed for? There it is. Oh no, I'm bad at nicknames. I am very bad at nicknames. Oh, that's not what I want to take. Now break that down in terms of Ketris, Yagwe, Gargoyle, Rowan, Phoenicia. Break what down? I'm not sure what you're referring to that in context to. Let's see. If you don't care about Guild Wars or the stat boost, should you just skip the campaign? Theoretically, yes. If you are doing the free campaign, and you are not interested in a stat boost or Guild Wars, you could skip it. However, if you're interested in factions, you would still need those extra stats for factions. So you might still need them, because it would help a lot for factions. Like, once you finally get it all the way maxed, the amount of stats that you gain is almost like having a couple potions. So you end up getting quite a bit of a benefit from it. Also, I believe that's the last room we needed, and this is the last battle if we don't get a Valraven here. Now we'll probably get it done tomorrow with all the scrolls we have. Got a heroism just now, too. Oh, we got 2 more battles. Nice. Well, we'll definitely get it done tomorrow, then. Let's see. We'll throw Mang down. Yeah, I do have to say, Tower of Doom, I feel like, is the event that gets done the absolute quickest as far as the guild-wide events. I'm surprised that wasn't one of them that they made a weekend event. It's still going to remain a week-long event, because I feel like it gets done the quickest out of any of them. It normally gets done on day 3. If you have a really coordinated guild, I feel like it gets done on day 3 the most, just because you can end up getting those Doom things that give you like 2 whole wins every single time you claim them, which ends up substantially increasing the rate at which you end up getting the event done. Okay, so we can go Zoog off that and hope it doesn't miss, and good, we're dead. Or it's dead. We're not dead. Yeah, if through the campaign you get 20 life, 5 armor, 6 attack, and 6 magic. This might change from week to week, but it's basically the equivalent of having an entire potion with a little bit of extra life. But it's basically the equivalent of having an entire potion effect, essentially, for when you do factions. So even if you're running with no potions, you can get one whole like tier 7 potion that normally gives like 7 all stats, basically for maxing out. It's not exactly the same, but effectively it's almost about the same. 6 attack, 6 magic, only 1 less on offensive, and overall durability being higher. So I like how they made the HP so much higher than armor. I guess they didn't want to break Rowan even more than it already is. However, that still makes Catchers the Bull and stuff stronger, if nothing else. Okay, floor 21. What do we have here? Anything good? We got... Yes, everything is good except for room 2. So let's just start doing them then. Hopefully we'll get another Vow Raven. Otherwise we only get... we won't be able to finish out the floor. Unless we want to waste a Fireball. Which, how many Fireballs do we have? I feel like we have a lot of Fireball right now. For the Amanithrax Del faction, you use the Skeleton Key team, but instead of Cedric, you use Alchemist. That could kind of work. Well, the points are always the same. It's based on order. Just simply winning would end up giving you the points. And it's dependent slightly on the order that you go in. However, just doing the battles will almost give you the same amount of points. So is Salty requiring you to recruit 50 people to Elite in order to still get codes? No. Oh, that reminds me. Salty did not give me more codes. Salty! But, yeah, we don't have any more codes. Oh, we didn't get the patch tonight, which means it's next Tuesday. Which means, Salty! Where's our codes? But she never gave me more. I have messaged her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as someone else who hasn't been able to get them, who's been trying to contact her. But I've messaged her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times over the course of 15 days. And we have gotten no response. And she even recognized it on stream. So if you count that, that's 6 times. We have notified her 6 times, and she still has not given us codes. Let's see. Let's go throw down Mang. Get a nice big hit with this. Hopefully not miss. Good. 1 HP. What are you doing? Luckily, that kills it out easily. But still... a little bit short on mana, so we'll go for it again. Kill out that just so it doesn't disable us. And it's match. Yes, it's a global buff. All the bonuses that you get from the artifact, from the campaign, does apply literally everywhere. There's not a single location it doesn't apply to except for Arena, but no stats work in Arena. But it works everywhere. It works in Explorer, it works in PvP, it works in Delves, it works in Guild Wars, it works for the weekly event like Invasions, Raids, Bounty Hunter, it works for the World Lore event, it works literally everywhere. Like there's not a single location, not counting Arena, where it does not work, because nothing works in Arena, no stats or anything. So that's just the one outlier. But everywhere else other than Arena, it functions. And that does include very important areas like Guild Wars, factions, stuff like that, where higher stats are very important. I just start even this. Oh, we need to ask the dog in order to get the codes. It is now doggy locked. Let's see. I'll throw that down onto that. Get our destroy. Not a single location it doesn't apply to, except that one location. That's always the outlier, though. No effects ever work in Arena. You tried for 3 years to use codes. Oh yeah, they're PC mobile only. I try mentioning them quite a few streams because some people on console aren't aware. But yeah, they are PC mobile only, the codes. Meaning that if you have a console version of Gems of War, you cannot claim codes off of it. Anyways. How are we standing? Not like it really matters too much with the ranking, but we're still top 50. We got a little extra 15 gems if we maintain. But, hey, 15 gems is 15 gems. If anything, across the entire guild, that counts as, what, 450 gems? So you put it that way, it counts like, it seems like a lot more. But anyways, let's go run, Orb Weaver. I mean, Rowan. I mean, I'll get it right eventually. Phoenicia. Not the team. Let's get a Phoenicia in here. Where's Phoenicia? Phoenicia, where are you? Where's Phoenicia? Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. I keep it all the way down here. Because I still never covered that video. I need to. I want to do it before next patch. Next patch is almost guaranteed next Tuesday. Like, the chance that it's next Tuesday is like 99%. Like, it is almost guaranteed next Tuesday at around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 7 p.m., sometime around that general frame time frame. So like this time tomorrow we will have the update by now. Probably a little bit earlier, maybe like by an hour or two. But this time, a week from now, we should be in 5.0. Do keep in mind the campaign doesn't start till the following week though. I'm pretty sure. It's likely not to start the exact week where it launches. Though it's not impossible that it would. With Elite Pass, will you get the normal rewards and the Elite Pass rewards? Or only the Elite Pass rewards? With the Elite Pass, will you get the normal rewards and Elite Pass rewards? Or only Elite Pass rewards? You get both. You get the normal rewards and the Elite Pass rewards. It works like any pass system in any pay-to-win game. It's, you get both rewards. So you have the free ones, and then you have the ones you pay for. But you get both of them if you do the paid one. So yes, you would get both. Which means you'd obviously still get all the stats and everything with the paid one. Yeah, we still don't know what the troop balance is going to be for next patch either. There might not even be any troop balance. We don't even know. We'll have to wait and see. As soon TM's all over the place. But yeah, it's next Tuesday, almost guarantee. At this point, it could theoretically still be today, but it's very, very unlikely. Like, if it's going to be today, it's going to be in the next, like, half an hour. But it would have likely already been. Like, if there's not a spoiler thing on the... or a changelog right now on forum, like, it's probably not happening. Let me check. I checked earlier and there wasn't one. Let me check again real quick. Is there a changelog on the forum? Nope. No changelog. Yeah, it's happening next Tuesday. There's no changelog. Still no changelog. Because that's a good sign that it's coming in like any minute now. If there's a changelog. But there's none. Which means next Tuesday it is. I wonder if there's a reason she isn't giving out the codes. I don't know, maybe she's been busy with stuff. They are trying to push out a patch soon, so she could be busy with stuff related to it. Passive-aggressive reaction to having her DMs blown up. That could also be the case. However, I've been asking way before people knew what was in next patch. Or at least the non-beta people anyways. What do we even want here? Why does everything look so bad? Let's take that for now, I guess. Get a Phoenicia. What are you doing, reviving? There we go. Alright, that's all the things. Oh, I'm not even running with magic. I was wondering. There we go. Let me go fix that. Give me the extra damage. Okay, and then let's go run through this. And then we gotta go do Amanithrax. Which should be pretty straightforward. I'll probably just run truffles. Not sure if I'll switch to a quicker kill team. Might just run to truffles. Maybe with a leprechaun instead, though, since we don't need to level up hero class or anything like that. Just hope we don't find a submerge. This one is less likely to have a submerge. It's still possible, but compared to some factions, it's a bit less likely that we get the submerge room. Yeah, she was screaming a lot. I was hearing headphones too. It screeched at least like 3 or 4 times. Elite Plus codes are next. Yes, codes that require you to watch a stream for at least an hour to be able to use. No, I was kidding. Codes are likely not to be reworked anytime soon. People have asked for like reworks to it, like making it so it would last for a specific amount of time. Like for a couple hours or something like that, or an hour, you know, like things like that, so people could actually claim them. But they mentioned in the past that it's likely to not happen anytime soon, if ever. So before I forget, let me go grab enchant, just so I don't forget to go grab it like I did last Tuesday. So let me grab that immediately. And yeah, I think we're just gonna run Truffle. So let me just grab my team from the video, and then we'll go and run it. Where's the team? I'm looking for 20 to 500 Dove. I'll grab that. I do want to run with 20% start for this. Let's go to games. Let's go to Amanithrax. Let's go to fight. Let's go to here. Let's go to paste. And oh, I ran it with double gargoyle last time. Yeah, you do have access to double gargoyle if you want. Mountain Crusher, Apothecary, double gargoyle. I think I'm going to opt not to do that though. I think we're going to try the Leprechaun team. Now that we don't need hero in any capacity. To try to level it. Okay, and we'll just roll with this. Any other change we might want to make? I think that'll be fine. Oh, we don't have Greenstorm though. Oh, we don't have Greenstorm. If we do it this way. Let's say get rid of one of the truffles. Oh, what's the Greenstorm called again? Leaf Storm. What has Leaf Storm automatically? Anything? Start a battle. Yes, we got String Fiddler. However, at that point, we might as well just use a weapon with hero. We might as well just run hero at that point. You don't have Empower, right? No. We honestly might as well just run hero at that point. And then we'll give it half mana start any other thing, though. Oh, if we're running just a Truffle quick kill right now. Oh, there's no way to use Mirage Queen, though. You know what? Let's just completely revamp our team. Let's go with something different for once than either of those two teams. What's a super, super quick... Oh! We have access to Guard's Avatar quick kill. Hold up. We can use that weird Guard build I've been using for a couple of these. Almost forgot about that. I keep forgetting Guard is spelled so weirdly. There it is. But yeah, you can run... I've been running this a lot lately, actually. But it's a bit of a weird build, but it works. Anywhere is where you can use it, it works. Like, if you need a reason to go use Guard's Avatar because he's so useless, this is one of the things you can use him for, like an alternative Rowan. And then we just use Hero with something, like Mountain or something. Actually, in this case, even Jar of Eyes would work pretty good here. You know what? Let's go Jar of Eyes. Blue Storm's not going to be that helpful. However, its mana accumulation will be very useful. So we'll go with this. Boom. Jar of Eyes, Guard's Avatar, Circuit and Hadley, and Leprechaun. And I do want to have Dispel for whatever we have. What is a hero class that has half mana start and Dispel? Do any of them exist? They should. Hero class that has both of those. Why does one not come to mind? Something that has automatic half mana start and Dispel. I'm drawing a blank. I know a couple of these can get half mana start, but they don't start with it. So you have Dispel. Tidecaller, I don't believe does. No, I wish you could see what the 3 perks are without actually clicking on it. I always forget what they are for some of them. I'm pretty sure you do not have it. No, you did not. Mechanist? Ah, oh wait. Oh yeah, Mechanist has it. Yes, you're correct. Yes, Mechanist is the only one. I feel like it's been so useless ever since they nerfed it like a week after it came out. They ended up buffing Titan and nerfing this one. Indirectly. Actually, directly. But, let's see. What can we get out of this? Is there a 10% extra XP? I thought this one had the extra 10% XP on it. Maybe I was thinking of a different tree. But yeah, we'll run with this. We'll run with it. That's technically better in this instance. Extra magic is better in this instance. Reverse those two. Dispel. And I guess armor plating at least works for himself if nothing else. Nothing else will help us. Okay, let's roll this. But yeah, I believe that's the only hero class in the game that has the 2 of them. And now we need a +1/+1. Actually, no we don't. We can just go all in on brown-yellow. What's the minus for brown-yellow? Why did I click the 2 wrong colors? I want brown and yellow. Minus purple? Not sure how I feel about that. Alternatively, you can minus green, so no. We'll just go brown, yellow, sure. There we go. Okay, we'll do this then. So we'll be running with Jar of Eyes, Guards Avatar, Sir Quentin Hadley, and Leprechaun, which is a team I've been using quite a bit recently. Zugoff? You can't use Zugoff for this, can you? The restriction is brown and green. You can't use Zugoff. Why are Guards Avatar over Rowain? Oh yeah, duh. We can just use Rowain. Oh, no, you can't. We can't use Mirage Queen. That's why. We don't have access to Mirage Queen. Mirage Queen's blue and red. We're on brown-green restriction. Well, I guess theoretically they have the same mana cost, don't they, then? Well, I guess Rowain would be slightly cheaper then, because you could 20% her for 10 mana cost, whereas this is currently a 12 mana cost. So yeah, I guess you could go that way. But, I don't know, I'll do this. It has better cleanup for when you start not killing. I believe it also has a slightly longer kill range. It has a slightly higher mana cost, but it has a slightly longer kill range. Especially with how good Quentin cleans. Because Quentin does double tap when there's only one left. It does have double tap mechanic. But yeah, the fact that we can't use Mirage Queen is the main reason for not going Rowain. You could still go Rowain, though, if you want to. Like a Riskia Shield Rowain kind of thing. But, I'm not doing that for this one. But, yeah, you can go for a cheaper Rowain team. It'd be super cheap to build. Just go Mountain Crusher or Riskia Shield, Rowain, Leprechaun, one other thing. You cannot go Mirage Queen, though, because it's restricted. Yeah, or you could just double up on Rowain. Use Mountain Crusher and just get their mana up. Cast them both once, you win. Guard's Avatar does have a wider range of what it one-shots, though. Or I believe it does. It should. Let's see. What do we take here? Purple, because we always go purple. But yeah, it definitely does, because it does full AoE. Rowain, while it gets a lot of concentrated damage, compared to full AoEs, does fall behind. Because they both gain the same amount of damage. However, Guard's Avatar gets to do damage to each one of them, rather than to its distributed thing. Which does make Guard's Avatar increasingly get more as stats go higher. Because, for example, for every 2 armor, Guard's Avatar gains 4 damage. Or, sorry. Hey, isn't that the case? No, for every 2 damage, it's 4. I mean, for every 2 armor, it's 4. Oh, never mind. They both gain 4 damage for each. Never mind. I forgot. It's the same. It's effectively the same. I forgot. Never mind. It's effectively the same. Yeah, you can use Titan Hero class to get Forest Troll to half mana. You can also use it to get a few other things mana, depending on what you need for a delve. Yes, Guard's Avatar does gain additional damage. By default, it gains 4 additional armor, which would be 2 full AoE extra damage. Because it gains that when Leprechaun casts, it also gains it when it gets a cast. And it does get to apply it after the fact. So that's at minimum 2 additional damage to all enemies when you cast. So it does get more damage that way. Sir Quentin, you're supposed to clean. Oh well, I got skulls for clean. I do feel like this would be slightly quicker than Rowain. Though it's perfectly fine to run Rowain if you don't have Guard. Though, Guard is the only mythic currently in the White Helm. So if you're looking to upgrade White Helm, which is the best tribute kingdom in the game, you do currently need Guard's Avatar, at least until we get a new, better troop. Honestly, I do feel like Guard's Avatar increasingly does get used more and more in the current state of the game. She's basically like, the Iron Guts... She's like Iron Gut to Zugoff. Like, Iron Gut you would normally use for delve purposes. However, Zugoff kind of covers the rest of the colors. And I feel like that's the kind of relationship that Rowain and Guard's Avatar has. Rowain you would normally use. However, there are instances under some color restrictions where Guard's Avatar is the Rowain. And the same thing kind of happens in regard to Iron Gut and Zugoff in regards to delves, where normally you use Iron Gut. However, there are instances where you have to use Zugoff due to the color restriction that is placed on the delve. You might as well use Phoenicia at this point. We don't have Red Storm, though. And we wouldn't be able to get our weapon up as quick with it. Guard's Avatar, is it her? I'm pretty sure it's a guy. I have no clue. But you can run Phoenicia for this, too. You don't have Mirage Queen for it, though. So you're going to have to 24 all for mana, which will take a while. Because without Mirage Queen, it's going to be a bit slow to get its mana up. Whereas Guard's Avatar, we have 12 mana start for it. So we only have to get to the other 12. Yeah, Guard's Avatar does get less damage based on its magic, but it has a lot of its damage concentrated in armor. That's where all of its damage is armor. Yes, you are allowed to use any colored weapon in Delve. You're allowed to use any color weapon everywhere. There's only 2 exceptions to color weapon restriction. The only places that your weapon is restricted on color is World Lore events, which will be occurring almost every single week going into next patch. And the other one is Guild Wars. Theoretically, you're allowed to use a different color weapon in Guild Wars. However, you will be penalized on points if you don't stick to pure color. So technically, it lets you, but you shouldn't do it because it will cost you points. So those are the only 2 game modes where you tend to run, or in the case of World Lore event, you're literally forced to run the same color as whatever your color restriction is. However, in every other location, you are allowed to use any colored weapon, regardless. So in Delves, you're allowed to use any color weapon. For raids and evasions, you're allowed to use any color weapon, so on and so forth. Even for Tower of Doom, you're allowed to use any color weapon. So like for purple Tower of Doom, you're allowed to use like a Mountain Crusher, you're allowed to use Dawnbringer, you're allowed to use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Even though it's purple restriction, it does not apply to your weapon. They always have female characters scantily dressed. Yeah, they tend to. Most of the time anyways. Not always, but a good majority of them are. Yeah, quite a few factions can be done without potions. It might take a lot of attempts, but it can be done. Some easier than others. It takes a lot of luck, though. What pure faction team did I use? For this place, 4 times Truffle. I used 4 Truffle. And the way that you do it is you get full mana on 2 or 3 Truffles. And then you just keep spamming them over and over and over again. Truffle can loop into itself. You just need to get the mana first. And obviously that's a lot of mana to accumulate. If you just play the board very safely, you can get through it. It takes a lot of attempts. But you can literally win with just 4 of the Truffle. Get mana to 2 to 3 of them, depending on how the battle's going. And then start spamming them. It's not a guarantee infinite loop, but he can loop into himself. What weapon would work good with this team? You can use Mountain Crusher instead. I'm just using Jar of Ice so it doesn't block Guard's Avatar. But the Brown Storm would actually be more useful for Mountain Crusher. The main reason I'm not using it is just because I don't want to block Brown on Guard for when we're doing quick kill. But Mountain Crusher would be perfectly fine to use there. It might be ever so slightly slower, but it would still function. And once you get Brown Storm going, it would actually be quicker at that point. It gets a slower start, but a quicker finish. Like, if the battle was to be going longer than 1 shot, it would actually go quicker probably with Mountain Crusher. But when you're doing 1 shot, I'm pretty sure it's quicker with Jar of Eyes. But if you don't have Jar of Eyes, you can run Mountain Crusher regardless. It's not that much slower. How high of Horde? For this one, I did it at 200, I believe. However, I had potion effects at the time. But no, I think 200 even without potion effects would be able to do it. Because he's doing like 50-something damage at 200 or something. Somewhere's around there. Plus, I think I have 50% bonus now, too. Actually, no, I don't. I don't think I've upgraded Zolkari. But you can upgrade Zolkari to get even more for Amanithrax. Because this is associated to Zasian. I mean, did I just say Zolkari? I meant, it's associated to Zasian. Amanithrax is associated to Zasian. And you can upgrade it to get 50% bonus stats to your horde. Which, if you're at 200, is effectively a 300. Or if you're at 100, it's effectively 150. So doesn't he convert something with blue? No, he does not. That would have made it even perfect. But unfortunately, he does not. Yeah, all the blues we get are kind of useless. But we're using it more so for the fact that it's a mana accumulator that doesn't block Gar's Avatar. Yeah, I feel like this place could easily be done with 100 without even having 50% bonus. You just have to get lucky. Because you can infinitely truffle loop. And if you start getting infinite loop, it doesn't matter how much damage you have, you're just going to win. Problem is consistently getting that 4 times in a row, or 5 times. I forget how many battles I had. Let's see, how many was it? I know this is one of the longer ones. I don't think it's the full length one though, is it? It's either 4 or 5, I forget. Let's see. The delve is... Hey, we got a pet we need. Nice. 1, 2, 3... Oh, it is 5. Yeah, it's tied at the highest, longest delve. You gotta do 5 rooms to get through. Which means you gotta get lucky 5 times in a row with truffle. To do it without any kind of potions or anything. Even if you're doing it with potions, you still gotta get lucky. You just don't need to get as lucky. Yeah, you gotta get 2 truffles before you start casting. It is 100% required. I would even say go for 3. However, sometimes the battle pressures you to have to go once you have 2. But if you can safely go for 3, I would go for 3 truffles to full mana first, and then start casting. But if it looks like you might die, just wait till 2. But you have to wait till at least 2. Do not cast truffle before you have 2 full truffles. Otherwise, he won't loop as well into himself. And the more truffles you have at full mana before you start, the better. But realistically, you're not going to be able to get beyond 3 without enchant if you're doing no potion. And 2 is normally the cutoff, where you need to start casting. Oh no, I just lost all my armor. Oh, that's really bad. That is really bad. How are we supposed to kill you now? I'll throw that down. For a skull or jar, I guess. There we go. There we go. Weird way to win. Also, hello, Captain! Welcome. If anyone still has any questions about the patch or anything you want me to go over, let me know. We can still discuss it all, of course. And at this point, I can pretty much confirm we are not getting patched tonight. Which we kind of thought, but there's no way of knowing for sure. But at this point, given that we don't have patch, it is very, very likely that it's not happening at this point. So that means next Tuesday, this time tomorrow, we'll be streaming next patch. So, yeah, look forward to that. Because it is like 99% next Tuesday then. So we'll be doing that next Tuesday stream, a week from today. Oh, I should have taken a yellow. I could have had full mana. I guess we still got full mana. There we go. I just realized I'm set to magic instead of armor, aren't I? You're supposed to be set to armor for this. Yeah, why am I still set to fail? Whoops. Mistakes have been made. I never bothered switching to the thing. Where's armor? There it is. It's in our mail right now. Oh, it's just our level up reward. I was going to say, what did we get recently? That would explain it. Why's my adventure board blinking? Oh, it's just because we completed out the 100 kill thing. Anyways, where were we? Guilds? Not guilds. Games. Should I go to the pet? Oh, we'll do it at the end. We'll do it after Amanithrax faction. Well, let's keep moving forward. Now that we have our better damage. Do you believe the game is going to get progressively more pay to win as it continues? I'm not sure. They've definitely been slowly heading in that direction. However, there's no way of really knowing for sure. But it's a chance. There's a chance that it might. Are there going to be more kingdoms added? Eventually, there is a possibility. They did say that they could potentially add more kingdoms again. However, it is very unlikely, and if they ever were, they would do it for a very, very, very specific purpose. But yes, it is not out of the question. It is technically possible that they would add another kingdom. Is it likely to happen? No. Could it happen? Yes. And they may mention that it also could happen at some point. We haven't gotten a kingdom for almost 2 years now. The last kingdom came in August of 2018, which means in 2 months from, or in a month and a half from now, it would have been 2 full years with no kingdoms added. And currently, this is the longest duration we've ever gone without a kingdom being added. Normally, we'd get a new kingdom every few months, but obviously there's so many kingdoms in the game, and a lot of the game is kind of centered around the kingdom cycle, that it is very unlikely that we'll be getting more anytime soon. Though it is not without a question, outside a question of us eventually potentially getting one. Though it is very unlikely. Yeah, it's almost 2 years since we got into Kingdom. Cinemirage was the most recent kingdom added to the game, which came in with Delves, and then Delves basically became the new kingdom system, even though they're technically not kingdoms. If we were to ever get a new kingdom, I believe it'll be in about a year from now, whenever we get the new place that replaces Underworld. Eventually, Underworld will be completely filled, and they're likely going to try to find some kind of other event to go and kind of fill its spot. And for that reason, whenever we get another location that isn't Underworld, we are probably going to get a new kingdom that will be associated to it. Kind of like how Cinemirage unlocked the Underworld, we're probably going to get some kind of other new kingdom, which will add lore. That'll basically be the unlocking of whatever the new area is, if we so end up getting a new area. That's probably when we get next kingdom, and that could be a whole year from now. Meaning we could go a 3-year gap with no kingdoms. Though factions basically are the equivalent of them in the current state of the game. They don't have the same kind of gem sync associated to them. Those are mythics now, do that role. However, they are effectively factions now. Like every new faction is technically a kingdom. And now we get them once every month rather than once every few months. Because when kingdoms came into the game, they were only once every like 2 to 4 months or so. But factions are literally every month. But they come with a lot less compared to a kingdom. When's the next patch? Next patch is next Tuesday. What is the next patch? We're going to be getting campaigns. I went over it at the beginning of the stream. But basically, it's almost like a battle pass system is the easiest, quick way of explaining it. And that's a good majority of what's coming next patch. Do you know when and what the kingdom will get the next delve? I believe it's the 3rd Friday of this month. And, oh, let me see. What's the dates? It's the 4th Friday. I believe it's the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 24th, and I believe it is for Droxzoom. I do not have 100% confirmation on that, but I believe it's the 24th, and Droxzoom is next faction. It's actually the first. It is actually the first Friday event where we'll have additional bonuses from the thingy. From the, what's it called? The campaigns. It won't be that many extra stats, but we'll have level 1 artifact at that point by the time it comes around, assuming you get it done before that Friday. Yes, it's a month later. The Mythic will not come out until a month later. Kind of like how things currently come in through Glory Keys and other things. It has 1 month exclusivity, just like everything else whenever they add it through some kind of means like that. Except now it's a money-locked 1 month exclusivity. Which means you would go through probably 2 to 3 Guild Wars without it. If it's actually meta for Guild Wars. Compared to if you were to buy the pass. So that's quite a bit of time. 2 to 3 Guild Wars. Not to mention the troop and other things are also likely locked in a similar way, if they're actually viable. Or you'd go through 2 to 3 Guild Wars without them, if they're actually viable. What's a recommended horde level for a pointless 500 run? What do you mean by that? What's a recommended... I'm not sure exactly what the question is asking. But if you're trying to do a delve, no potion, you normally a level 500 pure faction with no potions. you normally need a 200 delve. It can be done with 100 for a couple locations, but level 200 your most consistent way. Oh, potionless. I definitely read that as pointless. But 200. I would say 200 is the best place, or 150 with 50% bonus, or 200 with 50%. But I would say 150 with 50% or 200 are ideally the area you want to be in as far as your overall stats. Yeah, I definitely read that as pointless. Dyslexia. Moving the N. Actually, doesn't it have the same amount of letters? Yeah, it does. I never noticed that. Potion... Isn't that correct? Potionless and pointless have the exact same letter combination, doesn't it? Pointless? Let me see. I believe it does. It just has one less O, right? Should be the case. Pointless. Yeah, pointless and potionless use the exact same letter combination. It just has one less O. Let's see, we'll throw that down. I'll throw that down. And he's dead. And now you're dead. It would be pointless with well, some delves can be done with 100 horde. However, it is pretty hard to do in some locations. This current delve that we're on right now theoretically can be done with 100 horde, because if you get infinite truffle loop, you got infinite truffle loop. Like, it doesn't matter. However, it's normally advised having slightly higher stats because it makes it safer for you to not die. Because the hardest part about doing pure faction for Amanithrax is getting mana accumulation. If you get really unlucky, you're going to die on one of your troops before you get full mana, or 2 full manas, 3 full manas or something. So that's the biggest problem it has, and having slightly higher stats will make it so you survive a bit longer. You technically don't need it for its damage output, surprisingly, because once you get rolling, you pretty much have infinite damage. The problem is not dying prior to getting it rolling, which you need at least 2 full truffles up to start rolling with, ideally 3. Do I have any factions at 100 only? Yes, I have about 5 of them at 100 only. Which one specifically, I forget exactly. But I have about 5 factions at 100. The rest of them are 200 plus. And I believe one of them is randomly at like 188 or something. And one of them is at 222. Yeah, I got like a 222, a 188, a around 5 that are at 100, and then every other one is at 200. And some of them, of course, have 50%, which effectively make them, well, 50% higher than whatever that is. So 200s become 300s, 100s become 150s. The other ones get whatever 50% higher of whatever their number is. Which means my highest horde level is effectively a 333. I believe my Silver Glade's currently at, or my Silver Necropolis is at an effective level of 333, which is my highest delve level in the game. It's at 222, but it has 50%. I'm not going to do any of those at 100. Every single one that I currently have at 100 is not possible to do the pure faction on easily. So that wouldn't be possible. Like, quite a few of them are the harder ones. Quite a few of them are the harder ones. That's why they're at 100, because I just potioned for them, so I wouldn't even need to upgrade the horde or anything. It takes a lot of luck to do them. Like, expecting to get it in 3 attempts generally is not the case. It is very unlikely to get potionless pure faction 500 done on your first day of attempts. Like, it could take weeks, possibly months. I know my first potionless faction, which was Crypt, took me about a month of attempts. until we got lucky enough to win. And I think the only other one I ever did potionless was Half Guardians, actually. Which actually one of the harder ones, oddly enough, but we did a potionless eventually. Necropolis. Yeah, I think it's let's see, it's supposed to be Necropolis. But Necropolis is the way I normally say it. But I think it's supposed to be pronounced Necropolis. And that's match. Doesn't even matter if he reduces magic. That one magic reduction they gave to it was even useless when it was added. When it was changed like 3 years ago or so. Whenever that was. If anyone still has any questions, anything you want me to go over, let me know. I'll make sure to do so. Come on, cast. There we go. Okay, final delves. Should be the last floor we need to do. Or the last delve. That or maybe like another battle or two after in the next one. It normally gets done at 80. Unless the points for the delves are really bad. Which does happen. That's why I always throw the thing at the beginning. Because sometimes you end up needing the battles regardless. Even if you do perfect order. There goes. Sometimes you just get unlucky. And some delves it's literally impossible, like All-Seeing Eye. It's quite literally impossible to actually do it without spending 30. It's because it has one whole less room. However, a couple other ones are also technically impossible in that its multipliers are just so much lower on their rooms. But some of them are much higher. Like City of Thieves, you could probably pretty consistently get done without having to potion. Or, you know, spend the 30 gems. In order to get the Tuesday event done. Is Heart of Rage a new Vault Troop? Yes. It's likely to be available the same way that everything else is next patch, where it will be exclusive to the pass for when it comes out, and then a month after the pass ends, it'll probably be available in Vault Key Drop Table. We don't know exactly how that will work, but that is likely to be the case. I'm not sure if they're going to announce officially when it's into drop table. Because that's a bit weird. Kind of hard to really tell. Doomed Glaive, I believe, is 2 Mondays from now. I'm pretty sure. But it should be 2 Mondays from now. It's the next Grim Woods event. I'm pretty sure it's 2 Mondays. I'm going to double check real quick. That's not the link I want. Terran's World. It comes out on the July 20th. So yeah, it's 2 Mondays from now, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's 2 Mondays from now. July 20th. You can get Doomed Glaive if you don't already have it. Highly advised to get it. So start saving some greens now if you're a little bit low and trying to accumulate them. Doomed Glaive is definitely a great option to have. But if anyone has any other questions, do let me know. After we finish out these delves, we'll probably call it a stream for tonight. And then tomorrow night, we got a new pets. So don't forget to go grab that. Yeah, tomorrow we got new pet. Thursday we got the Orb Weaver class, which is actually a pretty good hero class. Mostly for Guild War Defend, but still good nonetheless. And Friday we have Bounty Hunter. Also, there's a possibility it's going to be a repeat Bounty Hunter too, which will be weird. It'll be the first ever repeat Bounty Hunter. Ever. It could just been that the spoiler threads weren't updated, but I'm not sure. We'll find out this Friday. I highly doubt that they would. It might have just been a placeholder that they did until they figured out which one they wanted to do. It seemed very unlikely that they would do a repeat. But you never know. You've been saving your vault keys for this very reason. I know. I told everyone, save vault keys. This was not exactly the reason I would think that you would need to save vault keys for. However, yeah, technically it is a reason to save vault keys, to have saved vault keys. This was not what I was expecting you would end up needing to use vault keys for, but it is technically something you would need vault keys for. A surplus of them. So if you haven't already been, start saving your vault keys if you're not buying the passes, because you'll be needing it to get the new troops that come in through vault keys, if they're going to constantly keep adding them there. Also, if they're anything like Sparkle Sack, the chance of getting them should be a bit higher. However, now instead of Sparkle Sack being the only legend, you'll probably get one of a random legend. So instead of constantly getting Sparkle Sack, you could get one of the other ones. However, Sparkle Sack will obviously still be in the drop table. Which technically means starting next... Gosh, you gotta be kidding me. If we didn't spend the 30 gems and I was that small amount of points short, I think that might be the shortest we've ever been. Actually, we might have been under 100 before. But gosh, what is that? 106 points short. Well, this will definitely give us all the points we need. That's July 2021. Wait, what was that for? No, I meant this. No, did I say next year? I meant... You know what I meant. It's this year. No, there's not really a new resource currency. What I was kind of hinting at by that was the stars. But no, it's not really... it's kind of like how PvP rating is. Where it goes for the duration and then it, you know, goes away. That's not technically a new currency or anything. There we go. And we got over purples there. We got 2 purples today, actually. 2 minor purples. Okay, let's go quick kill. Oh, we also gotta go do the pet before we end out. So we'll finish the pet and then we'll end. But let me go grab the vault key, kill out vault key, then we go do pet, kill out pet, and then we'll be good to go. So let's go run. Where'd it go? Where's my team? It's hidden behind all the ones that we just covered in the video. A star gnome. No, there's not going to be a star gnome. How are you 1 mana short? What are you doing? There we go. Dead. Come on! Give us mech gnome already, please. Go, mech gnome. No, that could have been a mech gnome. Oh, that's even worse. Because that could have been a mech gnome. Because it gives a random common. That's not the common we're looking for. And the rest of the loot is trash. Come on, that could have been a mech gnome. So close. So very close. Anyways, let me go run magic and go run through this. With Phoenicia. Okay, let's go kill out this pet. Should need a lot of copies of it still. Yeah, 27. Gosh, we have like no copies. Need a lot of copies. Oh, I still have Diabolus set. Gosh. Look at how dated that is. Where's my Sunspare? Give me that Sunspare. Alright, and let's go run through it. Has so much to do to art anyways. That reminds me, I should commission more art for the channel at some point. I have some made that I still haven't been using. Only problem is it's from a couple different artists, so it's in like different art styles. But some of it's consistent. Main thing I've kind of been needing too is a new interface. I don't know, I just feel bad paying for it. If I end up like changing it or not liking or anything like that. I still have like $100 stuck in Fiverr as well. I have had no clue what I want to use it on. Fiverr has like more scams than I've ever seen on any website. I've tried commissioning stuff 3 times, and all 3 of them have fallen through. Luckily, I still have all my money in the system, so I technically didn't lose any money out of it. However, it is stuck in a way where I can't use it for anything but Fiverr, and haven't found any way to really use it there on something I would actually want. But yeah, I've tried 3 times, and all 3 fell through. If anyone knows anyone on Fiverr who does art, let me know. Like someone who is actually good and consistent and like not a scam or just gonna run away or anything. If anyone happens to know anyone, let me know. Let's see, we'll throw that down. If nothing else, I still need to get custom emojis made for our things. But that might mean we might need to get rid of hello. I don't want to get rid of hello. How would we get rid of our hello? Let me see. Let me go get our hello typed in. The big ol' hello. It uses 3 whole emoji slots, but I like it. The big ol' hello. Let's see. Also, you can make other words out of it, like hell and LOL and he. Let's see. What makes you confident the patch only comes next week? Because it would have been today, or it would have been next Tuesday. They only do Tuesday patches now. Oh no, I never ended up getting the fursuit thing. I was talking with a couple different people with it. And then once the virus came around, every single thing with that kind of fell through as well. But luckily I didn't pay anything into that yet. But no, I'm waiting far after coronavirus before dealing with anything like that again. Plus I needed the money anyways, just in case. Luckily my mom's not completely unemployed anymore. But she's still in a weird state where she's making way less money than normal. So I'm still having to cover a lot of the tab of the house and everything. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Yeah, it'll be a while before something like that again. Oh, kill that out. And dead. There we go. Pet is completed. How many copies do we get? Come on, 2 or 3. That's how many I think we need for upgrade. No! We're 1 short of an upgrade. It's for a White Helm bonus. Well, White Helm bonus is not that relevant. When do I ever really use a lot of White Helm troops? White Helm used to be a really good place, but hasn't really happened. The stuff that's been happening for it lately has been pretty bad. Like for White Helm. Like it used to be really meta and then it's kind of flopped. Yeah, there's a lot of funny Fiverr videos where people just like get people or just get to they do a video based on just commissioning a bunch of people on Fiverr. And sometimes they go really well and sometimes they don't for the amount of money spent. However, those kind of videos cost a lot of money. Like most of those people spend like hundreds upon hundreds on that video whenever they do one of those. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get it eventually, the dragon suit thing. I've been meaning to for a while, but it's rather costly to do, and during pandemic I don't really advise really doing it because I don't know, I just have concerns out of it. Plus I have money concerns at the moment until things become more financially stable. Anyways, was there anything else I need to do? If anyone has any other questions, let me know. I should launch a partnership with Granny Gems. Gosh. That's pretty funny. You started a new account and got Lasher within your first 7 troops. Nice. All battles now consist of filling his mana and then winning. Yeah, there's quite a few high rarity troops that once you get them, you kind of just auto win in early game, especially with how boost ratios and stuff are. Boost ratios are scaled more so towards mid-game, and with some of them scaled to late game. But a good majority of them are scaled to mid-game. But regardless, a lot of them are kind of horrible. I mean, amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing in early game. So they kind of just destroy everything, which is pretty fun. I forget what the first mythic was on my Switch account. I think we got a rather useless one. I think Cerberus was our first mythic legend, which didn't really do us much. Can't remember what our first mythic was. It might have actually been Infernus. Actually, was it Fairish Raw? I know we got Fairish Raw really early in like our first few. It's because you want those fancy wings. No, I actually would probably consider getting it without wings and just get a separate attachment. Like, you'd want to, like, bare minimum all the pieces of it. Just so it's a bit more flexible for changing things up. Like, sometimes you have to replace parts of it and stuff like that. So you tend to get every single part separately. Like, you tend to get most of it from the same person, but there are definitely a few parts that you'd want to get separately. Also, the neck thing is something I would completely have to get separately as well, regardless. Because no one would really make that. You would need to find someone that does metal engraving for it. I'm not sure of any local place by me that does. I know one place that might, but they mostly do signs and trophies. I don't think they would specifically do something like that. It's a really, really weird piece. There's things that look like it kind of online, but without the engraving on it. Let's see. Wonder if you would show an anti-Gobtruffle team? Freeze. Like, literally just run Frost Mage. Or run Frostfire King on your team. Or the easiest way is just run Frost Mage on your team. It's the easiest way to deal with Gobtruffle. You just carry that on your team and you pretty much auto-win against it. Because you ruin its extra turn potential by freezing it. So simply setting your hero class to Frost Mage with whatever team you're using is probably already good enough to counter it. It does mean you can't use your hero as a frontline tank, though. It's not too big a deal, depending on what the composition of your team is. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Let me know. And otherwise, you can just use Frostfire King somewhere on your team, and that will count as your freeze. Queen map's not as good. Frostfire King's actually the better Queen map now. I feel like Queen map's almost never used in the current state of the game compared to Frostfire King. There might be some exceptions, but more often than not, you actually use Frostfire King these days. A few exceptions, though, where you still use her. You're heading into Faction 500 with Pure Faction. Any last-minute advice? You got 2 sigils. So you're running the truffle one. So you have potion effects then, right? So your best bet is get 2 truffles to full. If it looks like you're about to enchant or almost get full mana to the 3rd, go for the 3rd. Otherwise, start spamming the 2 and hope you get lucky. You do want to take pretty much every single skull you ever see. However, once you start looping, just keep looping until it stops working. And just go from there. But yeah, you should be able to get it within 1 attempt or 2 with 4 times Gobtruffle. But definitely fill up 2 before you go. Try to fill up 3 if it's safe. And as you're filling up mana, make sure to take every skull so you don't get poked. But also make sure that you're not accidentally giving them free mana. Like, for example, Browns into like a Bone Dragon or something. You gotta be careful with skull spam. It is very squishy to skull spam. But yeah, as long as you can get 2 mana full very quickly, you should be safe for most of the battles. Completely off-topic question. You finally have the mats to forge Dawnbringer. Nice. Should you prioritize leveling troops or go for Dawnbringer? If you already have enough to get Dawnbringer, you might as well get Dawnbringer. It is good to go and do the troops. However, if you're not in an immediate way that you can get more stars on the kingdom, it's perfectly fine to just get a Dawnbringer. But I would say get 5-star all kingdom before you get Dawnbringer. That's not required. However, you do need a decent handful of souls to do that. And that will give you one of the bigger benefits going up to that point. So if you already have all the kingdoms to 5-star, 4-star, whatever you need the levels for, I forget which one is specifically on, either 4-star or 5-star. Once you have all the kingdoms to that point, yeah, you could probably go for Dawnbringer then. But prior to that point, you might want to wait. But getting Dawnbringer as soon as you can get it is perfectly fine to do, especially if you're still running Arena for souls, and because that speeds it up quite a bit. And it also works for a couple things, like class events for Thursdays, it's always pretty good for. There's a few utility purposes here and there you can use it for. It can also be used in Guild Wars, and it can also be used in PvP on occasion. But it's a bit slow for PvP. It's safe, but slow. Anyways, guys, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to be heading out for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, we will actually be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I feel like we keep starting late lately. But we will be starting at 8. And we'll go from there. Anyways, tomorrow we'll have Pet. Thursday we'll have Orb Weaver class. Friday we'll have Bounty Hunter. And Saturday, nothing for Gems of War. However, I will be doing the fishing tournament for Animal Crossing. So we'll have that in the morning. With 5.0, and of course, next patch will be probably next Tuesday. And next Monday will be the new event. With 5.0, can't you just wait till week 9 or 10, spend the $10, essentially taking the risk of not completing tasks out of the equation? I'm not sure what you mean. You still have to do the tasks regardless of if you're buying the pass or not. The pass doesn't automatically unlock all the rewards. You still have to go and complete out all the tasks. Even if you're buying the pass, you have to go and complete out all the tasks. They don't auto-complete. Regardless of what pass you buy, you need to go and complete all the tasks. Well, especially if you buy either of the two passes, because you need to go claim all the rewards. But, yeah, there'd be no point in waiting that long. Like, you are allowed to wait some amount of time, but you wouldn't want to wait that long. Because some of them are time sensitive. That might take more than one day to complete. And if you don't have the gems to cycle through them, you could get time locked out of completing it if you start all the way at like week 9. But no, you should just be slowly doing them over time. And ideally by like week 8 or 8-9, you'd want to make sure you have pretty much every task up to that point completed. Just in case some of them kind of time lock you out from week 10. But no, the pass doesn't automatically unlock them. You still have to get all the points to actually unlock the reward thingies. Of which you can gain 100 points per week. And the Elite Pass Plus gives you extra 20 per week. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys soon. Version 5.0 soon, TM. Probably next Tuesday. That hasn't been confirmed, but the chance of it happening is statistically exceedingly high. That is next Tuesday. And other than that, yeah, I'll be going over the pet tomorrow. Grabbing that and going from there. Anyways, guys, catch you soon. Don't forget, new Mythic, or the Mythic from last Friday. Still on event key. I mean, not event key. No, not event keys. Arachne Weaver's an event key right now. However, in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests, the Lord of Slaughter is still in the exclusive Mythic. So if you want to get him, you still have 2 days and 6 hours as of the, or 5 hours as of this exact moment in time. So you basically have 2 full solid days to go and get it. You have until Friday reset time, basically the end of Thursday, to go and get it. So you still have a bit of time if you still want to get this in Glory Gem Guild or VIP keys if you haven't already gotten it. Otherwise, your best bet is to save 4,000 diamonds for it and get it in a month or a few months from now. Like, for example, Cycrox was the previous Mythic, and he just rotated around right now. And he was available a month ago, and he's already back in drop table. But I think that was mostly because we got a new rotation, so it could be a little bit longer for this upcoming Mythic, but still, it'll be around again. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your week. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone.